Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the EKN Face2Face. My name is Rob Howden. That over there is David Cole. I'm in Southern California. David is in the steamy, hot Michigan. Winter is coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Especially today. We got the northern winds coming in. So, yeah, today was very, very chilly.
Well, and what is it now? What is the number? Is it like March the 270th or something like that?
It feels like it, yeah.
Right. Since all this kind of came down. Yeah, we are. I'm in SoCal. Dave's back home in Michigan. We're in what is really the off season right now. Would have been just a week away, a little bit over a week from the Super Nationals, which didn't take place this year. But David, still lots of racing, on tap for 2021. We'll cross our fingers. Everything goes back to normal. WKA back at Daytona. SCUSA Winter Series getting things rolling at Homestead mid-January. Florida Winter Tour, Challenge of the Americas. A lot of racing coming for the Winter Series, but we really have probably, now that's November 30th, we got a month until we get back going again.
Less than a month, really, because Daytona is in just, 26 days before they move in. So, we're just that amount of time before the 2021 season is already underway. And then, a week and a half, 2 weeks later after that is when Supercars USA begins, and then Rock Cup Florida Winter Tour, and then we're out at Challenge in the Americas. So, now is the time to really kind of monitor how everything is going, because as we see with professional sports, some things, and in college sports, some things are, the COVID-19 hasn't gone anywhere. But thankfully, again, we're outdoors. So certainly, again, it's all regionally based again. So we're kind of going back to where we were in say April and May, except colder weather now. But hopefully, as we keep moving along, things will progress in the right direction. As we see, especially in our area, we have schools shut down to where we're all virtual. So again, it's just a matter of keeping people away from people. It's essentially what it is. That's really what it comes down to, right?
We'll see what happens. Again, we're kind of wrapping up. This is episode number 30 of the EKN Face2Face, something we started here, really got rolling with IG Lives once we all got locked down at home when COVID-19 first hit. Then we kind of jumped into the Facebook and now our YouTube channels, where we're focusing all of our face-to-face shows. If you're coming on here for the first time, do us a favor, please, right down below there. Subscribe to the channel. We actually, David, we got over the 1,000 mark.
We did.
1,000 subscribers. That was awesome.
Yeah, we got the Andy Saisman bump. So
that's
when
right.
Him and John Beer came on, we got over to 1,000. So now it's on to get more and continue progressing our video feed and video content that we keep producing for the website and here on YouTube. And again, it's just we're here to grow the sport, support the sport, and promote the sport. That's essentially what these shows are about. And in no better way than to get right to drivers who are moving up the ranks in the sport.
And I'll throw this out here right now. Obviously, potentially you could be watching this on YouTube. Maybe you're watching it live. Maybe you're going back and watching it again.
We do listening to it in podcast.
That's what I'm saying. This also will take this content, turn it into a podcast. So maybe you're listening to it right now on your morning commute or coming home from work. We do appreciate that as well. All of our content, of course, multi-purpose across the different categories we have. Joining us today, David, will be a pretty cool one. You talked about the fact that we have kind of a new season of racing coming. Well, the two drivers we're going to talk to right now, top karters in their own right. They'll probably do some karting as well, I bet, in 2021. But they were able to do something really cool, and that was win the Mazda Motorsports Shootout for their factory team for club racing. 10 drivers in karting. Actually, more than that. I think 15 or 16 got nominated. Mazda whittled it down to 10. They brought those 10 drivers to Road Atlanta a couple of weeks ago for a 2-day shootout. Interviews, on-track sessions, all to be able to go race in the Spec MX-5 Cup and the Teen Mazda Challenge as part of the NASA series. And the two winners that we'll introduce here right now, David, 13-year-old Alex Berg from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Third place at the 2019 Rock the Rio program in junior 100cc. He was a nominee for up-and-coming driver for Canadian Karting News in 2019. The Challenge of the Americas champion just this year. In 2020 in the 100cc class, and also was the Rotax Max Challenge Canada final champion in the Junior Max category. He'll go to the Rotax Grand Finals. That'll be in January of 2021. So Alex Berg joining us. Also, Bryson Morris, who started racing back in 2015 in Nashville. But David, pretty solid progression of how he started stepping things up, was able to get a win in X30 Junior at the Summer Nationals 2 years ago. But David, he really was the dominant factor, probably in both categories, to be honest. 6 wins in 10 races in that, double weekend, triple header program. He ends up coming out as the champion in both KA100 Senior and X30 Senior. But David, for these drivers here, you can bring them in right now. Probably one of the biggest things in their career, able to win this scholarship. Let's bring Alex and Bryson in here. I've given you a little bit of a show. Boys, you're the winners. Good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's give a big cheer. That's awesome. All right. So I was able to lay out, kind of what the stuff you guys have done over your early karting careers. You haven't been doing it for that long. Neither of you guys have. But I think both of you knew going into this particular deal, when you saw the list of people that were initially nominated and then the finalists, you realize, man, you guys were going to be up against some pretty serious competition. I'll start with you, Bryce, and then we'll go to Alex. We did the face-to-face interviews with you guys. Hopefully that calmed you down a little bit, or maybe it fired you up. What was it feel like when you first got down to Road Atlanta? But we'll talk more about what you did and how the 2-day program kind of unrolled. But Bryson, we'll start with you. What kind of nerves did you have when you first arrived there?
I was excited. I was really excited because I finally, I love the Road Atlanta track so much, and I wanted to drive so much, but sadly I had to wait for the second day. But yeah, I got there and I was just really happy for this whole experience. And I mean, it's Mazda's putting it on, and they decided to bring me out. It was so cool.
Alex, I'll come to you on the same question. You'd never been on Road Atlanta before. Bryson had. So that second day of racing, when you guys actually got in the cars, was obviously going to be daunting for you the first time you did that. But let's talk a little bit about your feeling. How did you approach this thing? Were you nervous about the interview process? What was going to be tough for you?
Well, I'd never been to Road Atlanta, and I'm the only driver from Canada. I came from the farthest location. Oh. So nevertheless, that's always a bit more of a difficulty. A lot of people, I'm sure, have been there. I've never been there ever. I have only driven it on iRacing, and I've really liked it. But going there, it's pretty much the same, except going through the S's and the elevation change. It's like a waterfall there.
Yeah, right.
It's
so
amazing.
let's be real. You're the youngest. You're the youngest guy that was there too, were you not?
It was.
Yeah. So that was obviously a little daunting as well. Bryce, let's come back over to you real quickly. Give us a little overview. What was the first day? What did you guys do for the first day?
So the first day we had different tasks. I think it was maybe 6. And my first task was a writing assignment, just talking more about us, if we'd ever been to the track, stuff like that.
Okay.
And then we had interviews after that, which I was pretty nervous for, but I think I did pretty well on those. And then we had another writing task, lunch, then a seat fitting. And then I think there was 1 or 2 more interviews after that.
Wow, man, a lot of interviews. Alex, obviously you went through the same kind of process as well. It's interesting, right? We were able to do some interviews. You did a couple of interviews with us earlier. We've talked, of course, trackside after races and stuff like that. Alex, what was it like? What were the interviews like for you? Did you feel pretty comfortable?
Yeah, I felt really comfortable. My first interview was with Mr. Zach Rubin on the phone. It was myself and another driver, Alex Stanfield. Mm-hmm. It was just, I felt completely fine during it. I was a bit not nervous, but I wanted to present myself well, so I made sure of that. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was really fun.
We pause our face-to-face broadcast for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network. We pause our face-to-face broadcast for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network. Acceleration Kart Racing is your first and only stop on the internet for karts, parts, and safety gear to get you on the track. ShopAKRA.com offers a great selection of karting equipment on a user-friendly website. Acceleration Kart Racing has aligned itself with many of the top manufacturers and distributors in the sport to ensure that all the latest equipment is available to you, the consumer. With customer support available 6 days a week, you can be confident about getting the right parts at the right price. Be sure to visit shopakr.com today or stop by their headquarters in Las Vegas. Also, follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest specials, clearance items, and new products. The Briggs & Stratton 206 engine is where out-of-the-box ease and outstanding consistency meet to create legendary races. Briggs & Stratton's history in motorsports dates back to when the first engines came off the assembly line in the early 1900s. Their focus on the grassroots level continues to help build generations of racers. Since 2008, the Briggs & Stratton 206 has gained a following that has the engine powering the largest fields in North American karting today. From the club level and track programs to traveling regional series and national events, Briggs & Stratton competition provides the most exciting racing in the sport. Engineered and hand-built exclusively for racing, every Briggs 206 engine is power tested and serialized before it goes in the box. Karters can take that engine straight from the box to their kart and be on the podium at the end of the race day. To learn more about the 206 engine and to find a North American dealer near you, head to briggsracing.com. Briggs & Stratton Racing. What powers you? Leading Edge Motorsports is the industry answer to winning in karting. At the helm is industry veteran Greg Bell, who has orchestrated the success of many drivers dating back to the mid-1990s. Most recently, Leading Edge Motorsports and Greg Bell helped guide Danny Formel to victory at both the Rock the Rio and the SuperKarts USA Super Nationals 23. Based in Lodi, California, Leading Edge Motorsports is the Western importer for IP karting, which includes the Praga and Formula K chassis brands. Leading Edge Motorsports is already looking forward to the 2021 season, which begins with the Challenge of the Americas, the premier winter series on the West Coast under the Rock Cup USA banner. Leading Edge Motorsports is also eyeing the Florida Winter Tour and several other programs. Arrive and drive services to kart preparation and driver coaching are all available under the LEM tent throughout 2021. Greg Bell has been building racing engines for over 20 years, and he's excited with the continuing growth of his new Mega Power race motor building program. It doesn't matter what color your chassis is, choose Mega Power to get to the front. For more information, click over to leadingedgemotorsports.com and find them on Facebook. At Leading Edge Motorsports, winning never gets old. Welcome back to Face2Face on the EKN Radio Network. Dave, you got a question?
So not all the interviews were in person, because I think that's one of the things that we thought about when the shootouts, because normally typical shootouts, you don't have Zoom calls that you're going through. I mean, typically, I think you guys did that during some of the early part of the finalist program, but not all of them were at site, were they?
No.
Well, not all of them. Was that for me? Sorry.
Go ahead, Alex.
We'll start with you.
Yeah.
Well, not all of the interviews, not all of the judges were on site. They were supposed to be, and they were supposed to be in-person interviews. But the judges, some of the judges could not make it, so that's why they had to do phone interviews. And It worked out quite well.
Bryce, I'll come back to you real quick about the interview process, because it's interesting, right? When you're talking to Dave and I, whatever, at the racetrack, we may interview you for a race we've done or whatever, a race you've done or whatever. But when there's so much on the line, it's the pressure's there, right? It's not just talking about what you did. It's not, hey, yeah, I had this battle with this guy or this guy. It's probably something you guys really had never done before.
Well, luckily I had that one face-to-face with you guys during the Pro Tour, like the little gap in between.
Oh, that's right. We did that.
Weekends.
That's right. Yep.
So I had a little bit of practice coming in, but it was completely different because I had to talk about, my life, my racing life, not just like a certain race in general. So it was really different.
What about you, Alex? Was there anything you had done before that you kind of were able to draw draw on an experience from?
You mean like for the interviews, right?
For an interview, yeah.
I mean, I've never really been afraid of public speaking. I've never seen like any real fear or anything to do with that. But I did an interview last year after Rock the Rio 2019, after I finished third in the 100cc category, with F1 Geeks, Ash Sater. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And apart from the face-to-face interview, that's pretty much all.
You're also 13 years old. Like, there's not always a lot of opportunity for that. All right, so let's fast forward and jump into the second day there when you actually got behind the wheel. Bryson, we'll start with you. Give me some information on the cars first.
So they are 6 speeds, but around Road Atlanta, you only use 5 gears. Okay. And I mean, it's 6-speed H pattern. You know, you got 3 pedals. It's a
Spec MX-5.
Yes.
Miata, right? Yeah.
The NC Miata. So it's like I think it was a 2014.
Yep.
Maybe. But yeah, it was that car, and I mean, it's a basic car, but it's nice and sturdy, and it's a good little car. I got it around the track. It was pretty quick. So
Bryson, Alex had been to the racetrack before. I know you guys did a track walk, I think, as well on day one, at the end of day one. Who was with you? Who were the people that were kind of helping you out? Was Jonathan Bomarito there for that?
No, Jonathan was not there for that.
Okay.
I believe he was at another race event, but he was, or the person that was helping us was Max Pappas. There's 2 groups.
Never heard of him. Yeah, the legend, Max Pappas. So tell us about the track walk.
Yeah, well, there was 2 groups, and that was the 9 drivers from the Global MX-5 Cup. Yep. A scholarship shootout. They used the newer cars, and then there were 10 drivers, the 10 kart racers for the Spec MX-5 shootout. And I'm not really sure who was kind of designated to coach the the Global MX-5 Cups, but finalists. But they were on the track walk with us, and Max Pappas was telling us tips on the track, even though he'd never been there himself. He'd only driven on iRacing like any of us.
Seriously? That's awesome. Well, that's good. So, like, he was on his own first track walk as well. Hey, so you learn on your track walk, you sleep it off that night, you come back. You know, Bryson's been there before, so we'll come back to Bryson in a minute. So, Alex, Road Atlanta isn't like being at a club racetrack. That is a daunting racetrack with the elevation changes, all the corners, you know, the way and the peril that you can have coming around some of these corners. Did you take your time coming up to speed, or did you just like get out there and hammer down?
No, I definitely took my time to get up to speed. I can tell you one thing. I wasn't the quickest driver, but I was up there. But yeah, it's a very, very intimidating track. I made sure to not spin or put 2 wheels off or do anything not good to the car. Just anything that would be shamed on, I wouldn't do. I took my time to get up with the car, got comfortable, but not too slowly.
Bryson, okay, sorry. Keep going. Finish off, Alex. I thought you were done. My apologies.
I only got flat through turn 12, the last turn, and like the end of the second session, and to get flat in the S's was really intimidating. I only did that in the 4th session.
Hey, well, listen, you're my kind of guy because I like stepping up and finding speed in certain places. You know what I mean? Once you can go flat here, flat there, I've always kind of taken my time getting places, and I think that's better than going off. Bryson, you've obviously been there before, so you're probably able to get on the throttle a lot quicker and really get it going. Tell me about your first session, and then give us some insight in what happened between. You did 5 sessions, is that correct, throughout the day?
Yes, sir.
So tell me about your first session, and then tell me about, did you guys do debriefs after every session, or what'd you do?
So the first session, or after every session, most of us had a talk with Max Pappas, and that was really our only guy. It was just like a one-man team telling us what we were doing wrong. He was standing around different parts of the track, but yeah, he was really the only one.
Okay.
So how many?
Go.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, go.
I'm here too.
Wow.
How many laps were each session? Were they different for each session that you guys did?
I think they were around 14 to 18 laps, somewhere in that ballpark.
That's a good run.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alex.
There were 18 minutes, but they had to cut them short due to some time issues.
Okay. All right. David, anything else?
So you get out there. So Max is there. He kind of goes around different areas of the racetrack, and he's kind of your debrief guy. And then they just had guys kind of working on the cars. So what were you guys as the drivers doing? Because there's 10 of you that are pretty familiar with one another, being all karters. Did you guys just kind of talk about, what was going on during the day, or most of the topics kind of off racing topics?
Or did you ignore each other?
No, we didn't. No. It was more both. I mean, half of the talk was talking about stuff on the racetrack, and the other half was just, random stuff.
So you get all these sessions in, you're doing your best because the understanding is you're trying to impress Max and the other, whatever our judges may have been there, David or whoever. So you finish everything up. What's the process afterwards? You're done. Was there any more interviews afterwards? Was there any kind of debriefs, or were they literally done and you guys go sit over here and we're going to figure out who's going to do this deal?
Well, it took them a very long time to find out who they wanted to be selected as the two finalists for Spec MX-5. I think for Global MX-5, it was decided almost immediately who was going to be the three scholarship winners. It took them about an hour and a half. They talked to the team, Panic Motorsports and W2 Racing. Mm-hmm. They talked to the mechanics. They called the judges, and then they talked to Max Papis and Andrew Carbonell. Just everyone who was there and everyone who could have the slightest info. People that we have provided before, like a month before, that could give us some reference on if they could choose this person or not. But yeah, it took them the last session was around 4:30 to 5. No. Yeah, I think it was around 4:30 to 5, and they only made a decision at 6:37.
Wow. So, okay, Bryson, so then you guys got an hour to an hour and a half sitting there on pins and needles. Did you feel like you had performed well throughout the in-car interviews, everything?
Yeah, I thought I did really well on track. The interviews were, I don't know if I did too good on those, but I was hoping,
well enough.
I was hoping that my on-track stuff would pull me forward enough, and luckily it did.
Alex, what about you in that time, that downtime? What were you thinking? Were you think you were in the hunt, or what was it?
I couldn't stop moving. I have when I get nervous, I just start crossing my arms and then fiddling with my fingers, and I was just doing that for an hour and a half straight, looking at my phone, playing on my phone. And then every time someone would walk in, I'd be the first one that would point my head up and oh no, it's not David. Oh, it's not. I was
squirrel, right?
I was on the verge of a heart attack. I was so scared.
That's so funny. All right, so let's. So they come in. Did they just announce the names? You're all in one room together, they announced the names? Is that what happened?
Yes.
Mostly.
Mostly?
I mean, I think that's what happened.
You guys were in a haze. You were quite sure. All right, regardless. Bryson, you hear your name. What do you think? What's the emotion that goes through your mind?
It was surreal. Everyone in the room, they're clapping and looking at you. It's Thank you. It was weird, everyone's just staring at you, but it was really awesome realizing that, I had been chosen out of all of these amazing drivers that showed up to do it. It was cool.
We pause our face-to-face broadcast for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network. Experience and passion. That's what led to the launch of AMAX Racing. Owner Charles Maxwell began AMAX Racing in 2015, expanding the operation in 2019 with a focus on driver development for drivers of all age groups and backgrounds. From top-level drivers to grassroots racers or families looking for a team that will help them achieve their goals, AMAX Racing can guide you with the absolute best trackside service at affordable prices. No matter the chassis, AMAX Racing welcomes you and has the experience to put you on the top of the podium. You can join the AMAX Racing family at the WK Manufacturers Cup Series, Route 66 Sprint Series, and local events around the Indianapolis area. The operation is also set to compete at the Rock the Rio and SCUSA Super Nationals later this season. For more information, contact them at 317-437-5886 or find them on Facebook. AMAX Racing, all of your karting needs under 110. There's simply nothing like entering the tunnel at the Daytona International Speedway, and Margay Racing is proud to provide a unique opportunity for Ignite racers in December. This year's Daytona Kart Week, hosted by the World Karting Association, opens the door for this chance, and Margay is offering up a 3-2-1 prospect. 3 days of racing, 2 different tracks, all with one cart and one set of tires. The Dash at Daytona is providing Ignite drivers in Senior, Masters, and Junior with the opportunity to race at both the 24-hour Roval course with the WKA Road Racing Series and the traditional sprint track for the WKA Manufacturers Cup Series program. Ignite Karting is a spec package that includes the Margay Racing chassis mated with the Briggs & Stratton 206 engine package and the Hoosier R80 tire. It's all made in the USA. Everyone in the Junior, Senior, and Masters classes utilize the same Ignite K3 package, which puts the emphasis squarely on the driver. This unique and historic Florida event kicks off the 2021 Ignite Majors schedule. Learn more about the exact details for the Dash at Daytona, along with Ignite Kart packages and arrive and drive opportunities at ignitekarting.com. Get off the couch and get on the track this year. Ignite Karting. Fuel your passion. You've heard and read about us. We are the Rawlson Performance Group. We race to win. Our senior program is the best in the sport, and we have the SCUSA Pro Tour X30 Senior Championship to prove it. Our coaching staff includes 4-time SCUSA National Champion Ryan Norberg, 3-time SCUSA Supernats winner Bonner Moulton, SCUSA Pro Tour X30 Junior Champion, 2015 Rotax Grand Finals Vice Champion, and Junior Development Specialist Luke Selkin, and our hands-on owner, multi-time champion, and IKF Duffy winner Mike Rawlson. This isn't sideline coaching. We're on track, and we dogfight with you. It's like nothing you've ever experienced. You learn more and more with every single lap. Our seniors win races, like Hannah Greenmeyer at the SCUSA Winter Series opener in Florida. And they win because they've been trained, coached, and honed by our RPG staff. Hurricane Hannah is proof positive. If you're a mini driver ready to move up, or a junior driver who's done with running mid-pack, join the team that will develop your skills and take you to the podium. At the Rawlson Performance Group, we turn juniors into pros. In 2020, we'll be racing at the SCUSA Winter Series, Pro Tour, and California Pro Kart Challenge, the Florida Winter Tour, and the United States Pro Kart Series, as well as the IKF Northwest region. If you want to fight for championships, or want to improve your skills and your chances to win, the answer is to call RPG at 503-260-4514. We're the Rawlson Performance Group. We race to win. Welcome back to Face2Face on the EKN Radio Network. Alex, what about you? Obviously, as I said, the youngest driver is part of the program. You're wondering whether or not they're going to roll the dice on you because you're young, but you end up winning as well. What were your thoughts? Obviously, you said you were nervous for an hour and a half. Did you calm down a bit?
Yeah, and then well, actually, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. When David walked in, it was I don't know how long it was until he actually announced the names, but he had Andrew Carbonell, Max Papis, and himself say a few words, and I don't really remember how long it was because there wasn't a clock near me, and it felt like 2 more hours because I just wanted the names to be called.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but he said, I remember the words he said. He said exactly. So we have decided on the 2 shootout winners. Max, do you want to go first? And he put his hand out and just said no. He said, okay, well in that case I'll say the names. The first name. You can say the second one. The first winner, one of the winners of the shootout is Alex Berg. In that moment, my heart just stopped. I put my hands in my head. I started tearing up.
Wow.
It's amazing. I mean, the moment I became a race car driver.
That's it, right? That's it exactly right there. So Bryson, we'll let you both talk about it. So what happens next year? Did they fill you in on stuff? Who you're racing with? How many races you expect to get in? Obviously, you're part of the Mazda racing, Mazda Motorsports, their new factory club racing program, right?
Yes, sir. So I think they said we're doing 3 races, a part of the California, somewhere on the West Coast. I think it's mostly in California. Yeah, with NASA. Yep. Doing 3 races with the Spec MX-5 cars. And then I think they said we get 2 tests before that. And I don't know. That sounds like the season.
Still lots to learn, right? But
Yes.
it sets you up, I believe, as well to be able to potentially get to the next shootout at the end of the season too. I think, right? The spec, like the actual global MX-5 shootout, I think, as well, depending on how well you do. So the opportunities there to keep moving forward, right?
Yeah, I think that's definitely on the radar for them, looking at us. But I mean, we don't really know. We have to wait till then to find out.
Just a really good opportunity, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Alex. What about you? What are you thinking about this deal? It's West Coast. Do you know any of the racetracks? Are they running Laguna Seca? I know you've got some seat time there.
Bryson and I were just on a call with Bryson and his father, and myself and my father were just on a call with David Cook and Jonathan Bomarito, talking about the upcoming plans and kind of an introduction to Jonathan. They said that NASA hasn't released the dates yet due to COVID, so everything's still not for sure. Well, it is going to happen, but we just don't know where. I heard there's going to be about 4 weekend races. I think double headers, or I'm not sure how many races inside of those weekends. But I think Bryson and I will be going in a few days' time to Texas to get our NASA licenses in a comp school. So that'll be pretty exciting too.
So I'll start with Bryson, and I'll come back to Alex. You guys are now Mazda Motorsports factory drivers. There's been a lot of guys that have come up through the ranks with Mazda side of their name. Bryson, what do you think about being a Mazda Motorsports factory guy?
It's awesome. I mean, come on,
Right.
And we're the first ever. So hopefully, when we get somewhere, it'll be a good thing to look back at. You know, we started off with Mazda, and I mean, it got us somewhere, so other people can also do it. So it's also a good thing for Mazda as well. So I just think it's an amazing thing all around.
Alex, you said it's really you're a now professional race car driver, right? It jumps you into race car driving. What are your thoughts about being connected with the Mazda brand?
Well, I'm extremely honored and grateful that Mazda has chosen me to represent their brand and gifted me a season in racing in Spec MX-5.
Yeah.
They see what they see that like I can. They see something really good in me, and I'm really grateful for that.
I like that, and I think it's even if you don't see it in yourself or you hope it's in there, to have somebody, I think to have it validated by somebody else, right? That they've seen something in you, it's got to be big. David Cole, we should probably try to get on the phone with David Cook again. We should get these guys like a test of the DPI car. I think that just makes. I think that makes sense.
I mean, Bomarito will tell them all about it when they go to get their license. So maybe after they get their license, they boom, go to DPI, right?
Right to DPI. You don't think? That'd be awesome.
So.
Guys, we appreciate you joining us here on the Face2Face. You know what? Like we said before we came on here, just congratulations to both of you, because literally I know that and for us, this is, I think, one of the big things. David, I'll let you comment on what you feel. We got the email from David Cook that you guys had been selected, and part of that email was David telling us just how thankful he was that the quality of the drivers that we sent, that we nominated, that you're like, guys, we couldn't have asked for anything more. And we knew we wanted to come to you guys. You guys knew the kids. But I know what David says, but on behalf of us, thank you so much for representing us well. As you know, that's one thing I think, David, huge, right?
Well, not us, but the sport in general. I think
sport in general, yeah.
That's what it boils down to, because David said, you know, and Alex kind of hinted on it, because it took him almost an hour and a half of deliberation to narrow it down to 2 drivers from 10. And, you know, so it's, you know, I guarantee there are at least, you know, 8 guaranteed people that were in line to get this position, you know, because it's always percentages how things work out. But, you know, obviously you 2 were the lucky drivers. And certainly, as you said, Alex, you know, I think they see something in both of you that'll help not only yourselves, but the Mazda brand as well. And so we'll be able to watch and see you kind of guys both grow throughout the 2021 season.
Hey, we got any karting still? Alex, Bryson, we're going to go do some karting?
Yes, sir.
I'll be doing the United States Pro Kart Series 3 rounds.
Yep.
Also going to be doing the SCUSA Pro Tour, the SCUSA Supernats, or Rock the Rio, depending on, or maybe both actually.
There you go.
The big one is in January. I'm going to be going to the Rotax Grand Finals racing for Team Canada in Portugal for
Wow,
them.
it's been a pretty big year, Alex.
Yeah, I won
awesome.
the ticket in August, and then things just kept going uphill since then.
That's good. And Bryson, you get a chance to put a couple of national #1 plates on your karts too. That's pretty cool.
Yes, sir. We're doing the Pro Tour next season, and most likely Super Nats.
That's awesome.
It's looking pretty slim for the karting.
I hear you.
Both categories?
I don't think so. I think we're just looking at X30 right now.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, guys, Bryson Morris, Alex Berg, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on winning that shootout, becoming 2 new Mazda Motorsports factory drivers. As David said, we'll be watching you guys throughout the 2021 season. Congratulations. Good luck next year, and well done.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Oh, wrong person. Wrong person.
One person. Listen, 2 impressive young drivers for sure. And I'm really excited and looking forward to seeing what they're going to be able to do. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. And hopefully we can, we'll keep our email chain going, get kind of some feedback from their license program that they'll be doing. With a lot of tracks in Texas, we're not really sure what track it could be. Motorsports Ranch could be, well, there's 2 of them.
Yeah, that's right.
Who knows where they're going, but we'll hopefully try and keep in touch, maybe do some social media just to kind of keep people appraised as to their progression, because again, it's getting a license and then boom, going racing, probably testing in between that. So kind of the progression of that.
Well, we'll do kind of a regular little update. Let's say we do 2 or 3 or 4 updates throughout the season on eKarting News. Let everybody know what's going on to kind of let you see how these drivers are progressing their way up. It's Mazda, as I said before, back in the days of John Dunham, was always a friend of karting. They came down, they supported a bunch of different programs, they spent some money and supported them. Always been there. But this is the deepest they've gone with a scholarship program like this. Really cool to have these drivers come right out of karting into a factory program on the club level. And like, as I've said many times, of course, when Mazda sponsored the Road to Indy, more Mazdas are raced every weekend than any other car brand in the world. So I love the fact that Mazda's dipping down and going to and grabbing some great karters, and we're looking forward to seeing what these guys do.
Yeah, very, very exciting time.
All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up here on the EKN Face2Face, episode number 30. Let me do this right. That's David Cole. As it flipped me around. I'm Rob Howden. Thank you so much for joining us again. 2 great guests, Alex Berg and Bryson Morris. Remember those names because they're going to go somewhere in this sport. Thanks again, folks, for joining us here on the EKN YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, do that right now. Give us a thumbs up. Book it.